Welcome back to American Agenda. Earlier, during our last hour, we were joined by former chief economist Peter Morici, who wrote an op-ed titled, "Does Hard Work Still Pay Off in America?" Public schools need to focus children less on the shortcomings of American society and more on math and science skills. The article goes on to explain how institutions are leveling the playing field and arguing that poor children and young adults are held back by structural racism, sexism, and other social factors. Let's bring our panel back in. Derryck, this drives me crazy. For instance, in Oregon, they just signed a bill that is suspending math and reading requirements for high school graduates. And yet, I remember conversations a couple decades ago about how we had to improve our educational system so we could compete on the international level with higher educated people, for instance, from China or other areas of the world. What's going on here? This seems crazy.
It is crazy. I think that we're at a point now where we're starting to lower the standards for Black and Latino children. So not only did the Oregon law pass, we have a law or a law in the state of California that they want to reduce or eliminate the SAT as a qualification to get into college. So what we're trying to do is simply lower the standards to get more Blacks and Latinos into positions that they might not otherwise have earned. And what that does is it compromises the development of Black and Latino students. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is contradictory to Black development and Latino development. If we don't develop, we cannot prove that we're just as competitive and capable as our multi-ethnic counterparts. And it also communicates the message that if they do not lower standards, we won't succeed. So they have to intervene on our behalf to
That's
get
an
us
insult.
that exactly that they don't think that we're able to achieve on our own, and it communicates that we're just dumb. They're infantilizing us.
Yeah, Heather, I mean, I've worked with people of color who tell me that they get people saying, "Oh, you only have that job because of a quota." I mean, I think that a meritocracy works for everybody.
Yet, when it comes to the Biden administration, at every turn, not only in our education system, but if you take a look at the American Jobs Plan, if you take a look at the American Family Plan, we haven't had a really good opportunity to go through that $3.5 trillion plan that they're going to pass through reconciliation. But it breaks things down based on gender and based on sex, and it does provide, grants based on what they call equity. But it seems like this particular administration at every turn is trying to divide us versus bring us together, which then in turn obviously makes us stronger, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. Tony, getting back to the original premise, though, or question, does hard work, can you succeed through hard work? We all know that it takes more than hard work, but it seems like hard work may not even be helping you in a lot of cases nowadays.
Well, there's the original quote that's attributed to J. Paul Getty, which is, I find I get lucky when I work 18 hours a day, right? So there's this idea that, and I do believe in it, and I think my life is an example of this, that hard work and putting in the hours and putting in the sweat and putting in the tears will absolutely get you somewhere. Then there is the societal pressure that we're talking about, and Derryck was getting into, that wants to state that the pressure is wrong, that the pressure is somehow bigoted. But to Derryck's point, and I wonder, Derryck, if you would agree with this, that rather than saying that, we eliminate the standards to make it easier for Black and brown children, we eliminate the standards to allow liberals to feel better about themselves. They are wrong on every issue. As Evan Sayet discusses it very often in his book, The Kindergarten of Eden and other places, the political left is not just wrong, they're as wrong as wrong can be. They are 180 degrees diametrically opposed to the truth and what actually works and matters. People do want standards. They do want to achieve. And the real bigotry here comes from the liberal, the progressive, that says standards aren't necessary for you. Why should you have that burden? That's the bigotry. Anybody think I'm off base?
Nope.
No, and I also think, Tom, I think it's interesting that you bring that up, but also Derryck, they're also here in California trying to have pass-fail grades so that, we're taking away earnings. I know when my kids were in school, they did like color charts. They don't even want them to do that anymore for behavioral modification. It is saying to people that we are going to guide and direct you how we want you to be. That's indoctrination. How about we teach science, technology, engineering, and math, and actually teach subjects in school and not social justice? And that's what's happening in California.
Yes.
The California Teachers Association is the most powerful union in this country, and they are taking every advantage that they can during COVID to let us know their sheer power. We actually created a parent association because we as parents do not have a union. We had to sue the state of California to reopen schools, and now I'm in a lawsuit to allow my children to breathe fresh air. It is the epitome of ridiculousness here in California. It's dumbing people down. It's creating learned helplessness in more disadvantaged people, and it's the wrong direction for our country.
And that's why people are going other directions. They're going out of California. Heather.
All right, everyone, stand by. Coming up, President Biden spends nearly every weekend there, but the White House now says they have no plans of releasing the visitor's log at his family home in Delaware. Is this the transparency we were promised? Our panel returns to react.